Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Sharice Davids, and I represent Kansas's third district. And look, right now we are witnessing what can happen when Kansans make their voices heard. Despite all the political games and the backroom deals, Kansas Republican legislators were not able to get the signatures that they needed to hold a special session on mid-decade redistricting. And that is absolutely because Kansans, like Democrats, Republicans, Independents alike, they saw this effort for what it is. It's a politically motivated power grab that's influenced by extremists in DC in an attempt to silence voters and to split up our communities. And I will say that even though they failed to force this special session, we know that this fight is not over. Last night, Kansas Senate President Ty Masterson said that redistricting will be, and I'm quoting here, a top priority when the legislature reconvenes in January. And we saw Kansas House Speaker Dan Hawkins also promised that the legislature will still, again, quoting, have a conversation about redistricting. And, after last night's election results nationwide, extreme politicians in DC are definitely panicking. They're going to stop at nothing to tighten their grip on Kansas. And so they're going to take another run at this in January, another attempt to carve up Johnson County, to redraw maps that voters never asked for, all to protect their own political power. And while today is absolutely a win for fairness and for Kansans' voices being heard, it is also a reminder that we can't get complacent. So here's what we're still up against. When they gerrymandered the maps just 3 years ago, they promised that they'd leave Johnson County whole. They said that they would respect our communities. They said that they would listen to the voices of Kansans. But under pressure from Washington extremists, they're willing to break that promise. And we've heard it straight from them. Ty Masterson himself admitted that Kansans will not be the ones drawing these maps. He said that a group of federal redistricting experts will do it from a federal perspective. Who are these experts? They're DC insiders who've never stepped foot in Kansas, people who don't know our way of life, who don't know our values, who have spent years pushing extreme policies that Kansans have been rejecting. And that tells you everything that you need to know about what this really is. It's an attempt to manipulate the process, not to make it more fair, but to make it more partisan. And today is absolutely a round one victory. It's what happens when Kansans speak up, when our voices are heard. Even these secretive, politically motivated power grabs can be slowed down and even stopped. And that is the power of community. That is the power of Kansans who care about fairness, about Kansans who care about having a government that actually works for them. And I'll tell you this, that when they try to move forward with the redistricting, the mid-decade gerrymander in January, I'm going to be ready. My team and I are already looking at every option to ensure that Kansans' votes are not manipulated or diluted by politicians trying to cling to power. And let's keep in mind, this is not about me. This is about every Kansan having a fair voice in their government. This is about our communities being heard. It's about our communities having that fair voice in our government. And our communities are not bargaining chips. They're not lines to be moved around on a map so that politicians can keep their power. Our communities are places that people live, places that people work and raise their families, and our communities deserve to be represented fairly. So even though we are absolutely celebrating this small victory today, we know what comes next because they've told us. And I promise everyone in Kansas, and everyone in the third district that I'm gonna keep fighting to make sure that Kansans choose their representatives and not the other way around. So I will stop there. Thank you so much.